In today's culture, we so often see feelings as barriers, just things that we need to get through. If you're feeling frustrated, agitated, angry, and you're at work, you feel like, well, I just have to get over this. I just have to rise above it so that I can get back to being productive, so that I can get back to doing the things that I need to do to get through my day, right? So these feelings are not actually useful. They're not actually important. They're just impediments. And in today's video, I want to explore a specific example to show how actually feelings can be really great tools for better understanding why you're actually doing what you're doing in the moment, why you're actually taking the action that you're taking or behaving a certain way. And by getting in touch with those feelings and really understanding them and spending time with them, it allows you to make a different choice, to really be intentional about how you're behaving, to really act in alignment with your values and your ethics and who you want to be as a person, instead of just letting yourself be controlled by inertia or momentum or just whatever naturally comes. So this video came about because I was just coaching an ENTP client, and ENTPs, I'm one, and we are very analytical thinkers, and we're very focused on wanting to solve things and get back to what we feel is important, right? So if there's kind of this impediment, we want to get through it, we want to solve it so that we can get back to our priorities. And so she was telling me about how she has been feeling kind of overwhelmed lately at her new job, and feeling like there's a lot that she needs to get done, and she was asking for advice about when something upsets her, when something agitates her, how can she just get through it, get over it, so that she can get back to work, get to the next thing. And what was interesting, too, is the way she framed it was, well, it's not that I'm frustrated exactly. It's not that I'm angry. It's just that I feel agitated. I feel like I don't like this, and I just want to get on with it. And so the first thing I did was ask for a specific example. All right, what are we actually talking about here? And she said, well, okay, so one example is that she had to deal with this payroll thing, this bureaucracy thing. And she had this long email exchange with someone, and it just felt like so much bureaucracy. Oh my God, all these back and forths. Like, why can't this person just, be more empathetic to my position as a new employee? Why do they have to make me jump through all these hoops? Why don't they just help me? Why don't they get it? Why is this happening this way? Right? And part of this is because we ENTPs have this baby cognitive function of SI. And so anything dealing with bureaucracy, logistics, that can be especially hard for us. We really want to push against that. We really value freedom. We just want to be able to, do things in a way that makes sense to us. We don't want to have to jump through hoops that someone else is setting up for us. So first, I encouraged her to really just notice that experience. She was so quick to say, well, it's not that I'm angry. I just want to kind of get on with it, right? And I think often, our culture teaches us that anger is bad. That anger means you're going to throw dishes across the room or yell at someone or do something unethical. Anger is this big bad thing. And often anger really is just either showing that something is pushing against your values, or some boundary of yours has been crossed, or really that you just want reality in the present moment to be different than it is. Like, you have some idea of how things would be better. Like, this interaction would be better if this payroll person would just simplify things, would just help me out instead of requiring me to go through all this crap. So, I suggested maybe you actually are feeling some anger here, and actually that's okay. So, to answer her question of kind of how do you kind of get over this? How do you just, get through this impediment to be able to get back to work and get back to being productive? I think part of the answer has to be facing reality and really investigating, what am I experiencing at a moment like that? And it's okay if you're feeling feelings like, wow, yeah, this is really frustrating. This is not how I want to be spending my morning, answering, this dozen-long email thread about payroll, right? So it's okay to feel anger there. Yeah. And I think it can be really important to slow down and just let yourself feel that. Maybe you need to squeeze your fists. Maybe in your head you need to just get mad at that person, like, what's wrong with you? Why are you doing this to me? And not need to push that down, but just let that be real. Let that be what it is. Like, yeah, part of me is really angry right now. And that's not the whole you. There are other parts too. There's a part of you that wants to just be chill, wants to go with the flow. Maybe there's a part of you that wants to be empathetic. This person's just doing their job, whatever. But there is a part right now that maybe is angry. And it's okay to honor that part and recognize this is part of the reality of what's happening right now. So that's the first step, really investigate what is true right now. Because if you have this attitude of just, I want to be calm and chill all the time through anything. I just want to be totally okay when an emergency is happening at work, when, everything's going badly. I want to be the calm, clear-headed one. I'm like, awesome. Yeah, that's a great ideal to strive for. But it's also unrealistic to expect that you're going to be able to behave that way in every situation. And it really requires a lot of work, a lot of practice to be able to remain clear-headed in difficult situations. There's a version of clear-headedness, what looks like clear-headedness on the outside, where someone is really just repressing and just numbing themselves. And they might look like, oh, wow, yeah, they're so calm, when everything's going wrong. But actually, they're just numbing themselves. And, that only works for so long. After a while, it's going to explode if you keep pushing it down. And there's certainly safety issues at work. When you have to be a professional. I'm not saying that you should just allow yourself to explode, but if you are feeling anger, to be with that, be with the truth of that. And like I said, you could just do something small, like, with your hand under your desk, just like squeeze it. Or if you need to, you go hide in the bathroom for a bit and just allow yourself to just, just really let your body be with what's true in that moment. Because what's happening there is your body is having an emotional response, and you might want your mind to be a certain way. You might want your landscape of your mind and consciousness to be a perfectly calm place, but the reality is that your body might need to do something different. Often we have this idea like, I want to have very strong self-control. I want to be the one in control. So I want to control my reactions. I don't want to be someone who gets angry. And you can't actually control if you get angry. You can control your response in the sense that you might feel a lot of anger, and part of you might want to hit someone, but you choose, I'm not going to let myself hit someone. So yeah, you can choose your response in that sense. But you can't choose the response in the sense of your body is going to trigger an emotion. If something really activates you, there are just certain chemical reactions, biochemical reactions that are going to start to happen. And that might increase your heart rate. It might cause you to tense your shoulders. All sorts of things can happen. Sweating, different bodily responses. And you can't control those. Unless you're a very high-level meditation master who can really slow down your heart rate through intentional effort. That takes decades of practice. So the vast majority of us cannot control our biochemical reactions. So what you can do there is really notice what is actually happening to me right now. Oh, my heart rate is speeding up. Oh, I'm noticing my gut is clenching. Okay, that's useful information. That's real. And so knowing that, I can, to some degree, choose my reaction to that. I can choose to take some deep breaths. I can choose to feel the solid ground underneath me. I can choose to go for a walk outside. I can choose to go in the bathroom and squeeze my fists. I can choose to ask for help, call a friend. I can choose to take a drink of water. Right? These are all choices that you can make, but you're going to be able to make a more informed choice if you understand what's actually happening for you. So the next thing I talked to this client about was, all right, so here you are in this interaction with this bureaucratic payroll person. And, I asked, what is actually bad about this? And my client said, oh, well, this person's wasting my time, and it's so frustrating. Why can't they just be this way? And here I am. I'm writing such thoughtful replies. She's being curt with me, and I'm trying to, be the better person, right? I'm still writing like, oh, hi, yay, thank you for your help. Yes, okay. And, just being super polite and professional. And so when I really challenged her, okay, look at what's happening for you there. What are you actually experiencing when you're doing that? When she really checked her feelings, she realized like, oh, wow, I'm actually trying to be a better person. So I'm feeling this sense of kind of I'm above this other person. And it's important to me to maintain this feeling of kind of I'm better than them. And, look at this. They're behaving so badly. They're writing these crappy replies, unlike me, who's writing these very professional, compassionate replies, right? And we all do this, right? We all want to feel like we're the better person. Like we're the one who's behaving ethically. We're the one who's being good, unlike these other people. And so I think there again is the value of noticing how you actually feel. Because in your mind, you might be telling yourself the story of, I'm just trying to be efficient here. I'm just wanting to get these emails done. And there's actually a experience that's happening here where it's touching this part of you related to your values. And it's creating this feeling of I need to cling to this sense of ethical hierarchy, right? Like I'm being good, unlike this other person. And what I said to my client is, this is really an opportunity to practice examining and being with the truth of your feelings, and a chance to practice being in an emotionally challenging situation and still following your values and doing the right thing for your own sake, not to be better than someone else. My client could be writing the very same email, the same kind of polite, overly polite email, but in two very different emotional states. The first emotional state might be typing this happy, polite email, but actually feeling like, oh my God, you stupid idiot. I hate you so much. This is such a waste of my time. Oh my God, oh my God. But writing this nice, happy, polite email, right? Or the second option is you write the polite email, and inside you're using this as an opportunity to take deep breaths and practice and just say like, yeah, this is really hard right now. I'm feeling a lot of agitation right now, and I'm breathing. And I'm taking care of myself because I can't control how this other person is behaving. I can't control if they're sending me these curt responses. So it does me no good to be judging them, thinking they're an idiot, blaming them, feeling like they're wasting my time. That's not productive. That's not helpful. What I can control is myself. So I can be taking deep breaths. I can be feeling the solid ground underneath me. I can be reminding myself what I have power over right now is my reaction to this. So I can take care of myself by trying to remain calm, not in a way where I'm repressing and just kind of saying, la, 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 everything's fine, I'm great, but really recognizing, like, yeah, I'm angry right now. And I took a minute, a minute ago, I took a little time to just feel that anger, like, this is not how I wanted to be spending my time. This is not how I wanted my day to be going. And I let that anger out. I released that energy that needed to be released. And so now I'm in this place where this isn't how I want to be spending my time, but I'm just going to be breathing. I'm going to be taking care of myself because I noticed that I was having an emotional reaction, and that gives me the ability to take care of it instead of just letting that negative emotion overcome me. So my point is that in both of those cases, the thoughts, the kind of the outcome on the outside might look the same. You're writing the same email, and you might have kind of similar thoughts in both cases, but the emotional, somatic experience of both is quite different. And that's going to lead to a very different outcome. Because if you have that first emotional mindset, heart set, whatever you want to call it, of just like, oh, this stupid person, because you haven't processed your anger and it's still just simmering in there, that's going to sap a lot more of your energy. So compared to the second one, where you be with your anger, you let it release a little, and then you can operate from a more calm place, that's going to take a lot less of your energy. And so, back to my client's question of how do I kind of get through this annoying thing so that I can get back to work, get back to being productive, to what's actually important. Well, the way to do that is to use up less of your energy. So to actually process, be with the real feelings that are there, that's actually going to be the faster way, the more efficient way to get you back to work and to let you go home for the day feeling less drained. So it's kind of counterintuitive, but when you have an emotion that's happening, often that emotional response needs to complete. So if you start getting angry and you just push it down, or you start getting sad, or you start getting afraid and you just push it down, you just numb it, it's not allowed to complete. So that energy is still simmering in there. And you might think, oh yeah, I'm just getting back to work, but it's still simmering. It's still kind of gnawing at you. But if you actually let it out, if you actually be with it, you go outside and let yourself cry for a little while, let yourself be afraid for a little while, let yourself be angry for a little while, and then you come back, then there's no more simmering. You can be operating from a more neutral, clear, calm place by being with actual reality instead of just pretending that it's different than it really is. All right. I hope all that makes sense, and I'd love to hear if there's ways that you've been able to put this kind of idea into practice in your life, or if you have any questions about how all this works. And I hope you have a nourishing day. Thanks for watching.